We are back. We are back. You're listening to Culture Distinct. I am yours truly, Gary Wade, along with my co-host today, Robin Owens. How you doing, Robin?
I am great, Gary. I'm great.
We are missing Adam. We miss you, Adam. And trust me, brother, we waiting on you. We need you to be in the mix. In the meantime, in between time, Wink holding down the mic for you.
Yep.
Keeping it warm. So listen, guys, before we went to the break, Robin asked me a question. And that question was, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, how do a person touch it? So here it is, guys, real quick. First of all, before I go there, I started an academy a few years ago called the MWDBE Training Academy, just like it sounds. M, minority, W, woman, D, disadvantage, B, business, E, enterprise academy. In the MWDBE Enterprise Academy, exactly what I do, first thing I teach you is, number one, remember I always talk to you about what kind of business you are, whatever it might be.
Right.
You got to identify your business, what you do, because everything you do, I don't care what it is, there is a piece of the pie. There is a piece of the pie that's there for you.
Right.
There's a piece of the pie that's there for you. So let me just use an example. Let's say you're a plumber, Wink. Okay. And you want to get involved in doing some plumbing work for the county.
Right.
Okay. So now you understand you're a plumber. Name some of the things a plumber got to have to be a legitimate plumber.
Tools.
Pipe wrenches.
Yep, wrenches, tools.
How about a truck?
Yep, a truck.
Yep.
How about an office?
Yep.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. But how about
licensure? Yeah.
Insurance?
Licensing.
All that kind of stuff, right? So
right.
now, once you got the basic stuff down,
Certification.
Well, we're going to get to that next. But
Okay.
actually, you don't really need a certification. And that's so overblown that you need a certification. And here's why. Go look in the mirror and tell me what you see.
Yourself.
A black man.
Yeah.
You certified when you came to the world. Right?
But isn't the certifications to protect against liabilities?
No.
Like
The certification is something that the programs want you to have to make sure that you are pretty much black, broke, and meet the criteria. Right. Check the boxes. So trust me, you will check all the boxes.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
But if you're a plumber and you run a legitimate business, don't you think you now have a bank account?
Right.
Tax returns. See, all that stuff is business that you need to know before you even start thinking about certification.
Yeah.
So let's say you got all the bells and whistles and now you get certified. Okay. So once you get certified by the federal government or the state government, they give you what's called a NACE code. You know what the NACE code is? Robin knows.
I do.
So a NACE code is basically a number that says what you do. So your plumbing NACE code is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just throw that out there.
Right.
Okay. So now, remember that building that I told you the county was going to build that they need a plumber? Well, that building consists of more than just plumbing. It's a whole building. They got sheetrock, all kind of stuff. Your only piece, Marcus, that you can do is plumbing. So why would you look at the whole entire building? You just want to be the plumber.
Right.
So now, let's say Robin's company is the prime contractor, and they are primarily white or non-minority. They win this $100 million to build this building. And in that $100 million contract, guess what they say? Spend 10% of that with a minority-owned company. And guess who that minority-owned company is? Marcus the plumber.
Right.
It just happened to be $10 million worth of plumbing work in that building. They contract you to do it.
Right.
So they met the goal of hiring a minority-owned plumber. So they're going to get credit for that.
Right.
Because in that package for that tax money, the government basically says, Robin, we're not going to give you this $100 million unless you can find 10% to be spent in the minority community.
Right.
We're going to get to the white woman part. But let's just say she ain't in this mix. So now, if you did a plumbing job for $10 million, how much profit are you going to make? Do you know? Well, you don't have to answer the question, but here's the deal. The plumber should already know what kind of
his
margins
expenses
he have in there. Why? Because he's in the plumbing business.
Right.
You agree?
Yep.
So any good plumber is going to walk away with 10, 15% profit. So what's 10% of $10 million? $1 million?
Yep.
So you can buy you some brand new trucks.
Mm-hmm.
You can hire you some more people. In other words, you can build your business.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a legitimate plumber. Robin used you because she know you're a legitimate plumber.
Mm-hmm.
You have developed a relationship with her, so now you pretty much in.
Mm-hmm.
That's the piece of it, Gary. It's the getting in. It's the figuring out how to get in and get connected.
Yeah,
And once
so-
you get in and do a quality job, then you're in for good.
So you can get in. 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 Getting
Well-
in is not hard at all. Trust me, Robin. Let me tell you why getting in is not hard. Remember, you got to have 10% minority participation. Is that fair? Is that fair to say? Because that's what the contract's going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And listen, guys, because this is so important. I just use Marcus as a plumber. But welcome to the studio, Mr. Sharon Peters. Sharon is a really sharp guy. Glad he came in unexpected.
Good afternoon.
Hey, how
How's
you doing?
everybody?
And I'll let Sharon introduce himself in a little bit and what he do. But in any event, the cooperating agreement, Robin, that the federal government gave you through the state for that $100 million contract says that you got to spend 10% with a minority.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't say a plumber. You could have used me for sheetrock, him for electrical, or whatever it might be. But you need to come up with 10% minority participation. And here's where we fall in our community. Mm-hmm. We don't press you enough to make sure that you choose one of us. And to your defense as the prime, you don't know if we can perform a cuff or not. But if he is a legitimate plumber and can handle his business, you need to have a good reason why you ain't using him. Because if you're not using him, he have a good legitimate complaint to the
Against you.
source.
Right.
To the source. And let me tell you something. Once he complained to the source, you're going to get some act right. And guys, what we don't do enough is we don't complain enough to the agencies who's funding TxDOT, the city of Houston. Because the money don't belong to them guys. The money belongs to us. And if you read the language in these bills that Biden signed with the stroke of a pen, it clearly says what they should do. And that's what we got to do. We got to teach our people how to read the fine print. Period. Read the fine print. But anyway, guys, I didn't want to hog the show, but Robin made me go there.
I did not make you go there, but I'm glad that you did, and I think that there's a piece of that emboldening and empowering that we need to continue
Absolutely.
to mention, because it's the understanding that this is not your money, it's my money.
It's my money. Exactly.
And there's a remedy and a process through which we must have access to that.
Absolutely.
And I think it's just a harder conversation to have, but I think it's one that we need to continue to express.
Well, Robin, again, Gary Wade is my name. I live in the state of Texas, and I am at Austin all the time complaining about what's rightfully mine. So anyway, guys, Wink is telling us it's time for us to go to a break. When we come back from the break, I'm going to introduce a young man who just surprisingly walked in the studio. His name is Sharon Peters, and this young brother is absolutely awesome. You're listening to Culture Distinct. I'm Gary Wade, along with my co-host,
Robin Owens.
and you're listening to 102.5 Amazing Your.
Do good, through good station.
We'll be right back.